Imagine a world where every moment revolves around the pursuit of pleasure, where every craving is met with convenience, every boredom pacified by a screen, and every discomfort erased with a swipe. Sounds like freedom, doesn't it? But what if that very comfort is the cage? In Brave New World, Aldous Huxley envisioned a society where people didn't need to be forced into submission, because they had already surrendered. Not to pain, not to fear, but to pleasure. In his world, control wasn't enforced with chains or violence. It came wrapped in comfort, delivered through a drug called Soma, that kept everyone happy, docile, and compliant. The most effective form of tyranny, Huxley warned, is the one people learn to love. Now look at us. We're not tied down by iron. We're pulled in by dopamine. 1,000 little hits of distraction, validation, escape. We chase happiness, but in doing so, we risk trading our autonomy for comfort. Pleasure became the leash, and the hand that holds it owns you. Part 1. The Soma World. Slaves in the comfort of happiness. In Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, there are no prisons, no bars, no chains, and yet, no one is free. Why? Because the people are kept in a permanent state of synthetic bliss. They are given Soma, a drug that wipes out pain, discomfort, doubt. Anything that might awaken their deeper selves. They don't question, they don't resist, because they're content. And this, Huxley argues, is the most dangerous kind of control. Enslavement disguised as happiness. A world of slaves, he warned, who do not have to be coerced because they love their servitude. Now fast forward to today. We don't take Soma. We scroll it. We tap it. We wear it in our pockets and call it convenience. We escape into endless reels, quick dopamine hits, notifications designed to spike our reward system. Each ping, each buzz, each like is a digital whisper. You're okay. Keep scrolling. Don't look up. This is the modern Soma dash, and it's just as effective. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. Each hit fades. Your brain adjusts. And before long, what once thrilled you now barely moves you. You're not running toward joy. You're running from silence. Ask yourself, when was the last time you reached for your phone? Without even knowing why? When did distraction become your default? Have you ever finished an hour of scrolling, only to feel more numb than when you began? That's not an accident. That's engineering. Apps and platforms are designed not to serve you, but to harvest your attention, to keep you comfortable enough to stay, but never conscious enough to question. This is the brilliance and the tragedy of modern slavery. It doesn't break you, it flatters you. It keeps you sedated with just enough pleasure to make you forget what freedom feels like. So the question is, do you use your pleasures to live, or do they use you to keep you asleep? You're not choosing. You're being programmed, and calling it happiness. Part 2. The attention economy, when you become the product. Welcome to the modern marketplace, where you are the currency, where your attention is bought, sold, and manipulated by systems designed not to serve your needs, but to feed your addiction. This is what former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris calls the attention economy, a digital battlefield where every swipe, tap, and scroll is part of a carefully engineered loop. And the loop? It's built on intermittent variable reward, the same mechanism used in slot machines. You never know when you'll get a hit, a like, a message, a video that makes you laugh. That unpredictability, it hooks your brain harder than the reward itself. You don't scroll TikTok, as one digital critic put it. TikTok scrolls you. We don't seek content. We're being driven by it. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky explains that dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, isn't just triggered by pleasure. It's most powerful during anticipation. In other words, your brain gets more dopamine from expecting a reward than from actually getting it. This is why we obsessively check our phones, not because something good will happen, but because it might. That maybe, that slim chance, keeps us coming back. We've become seekers, caught in loops that never resolve. There's no destination, just perpetual craving. And here's the twist. We think we're in control, but we're not scrolling out of curiosity. We're being scrolled by design. Apps study your behavior. They track your likes, your hesitations, your pauses. They know when you're lonely, bored, vulnerable, and they use it to sell you more of what keeps you from feeling whole. You're not consuming the platform. It's consuming you. Your time, your focus, your mind. Packaged and sold to advertisers who benefit from your distraction. And the cost? Not just lost time, but lost self. Because when you spend your life chasing stimulation, you forget how to sit in stillness. You forget how to listen inward. You forget what it means to choose. So ask yourself, are you entertained? Or just distracted enough to forget you're alive? Part 3. Soft tyranny, the hidden danger of comfort. Not all tyranny looks like chains and armies. Some of it looks like convenience, like one-click orders, instant gratification, and apps that think for you. Alexis de Tocqueville in the 19th century warned of this. He called it soft tyranny, a subtle, seductive force where freedom isn't stolen, it's surrendered. People will not lose freedom through oppression, he said, but because they choose comfort instead. And we've chosen it. Again and again. We've traded depth for ease, silence for stimulation, effort for automation. Our smart homes adjust the temperature for us. Our devices finish our sentences. Our feeds tell us what to want, what to buy, even what to believe. And what do we give up in return? Presence, intention, awareness. We lose the discomfort that forges meaning, the kind that comes from effort, reflection, patience. We lose the muscle of depth. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard saw this coming too. He described the aesthetic life, a life driven by beauty, entertainment, and shallow pleasures. And he said this path, while exciting at first, inevitably leads to despair. Why? Because when everything is easy, nothing feels earned. And without effort, we can't experience true fulfillment. Here's the quiet trick of the modern world. It doesn't force you to submit. It simply makes it easier not to resist. It doesn't say, obey. It says, relax. We've got it covered. It feeds you what you want until you forget to ask what you need. The system isn't built to imprison you. It's built to pacify you. And the more we automate, outsource, and indulge, the more we atrophy the very qualities that make us human: resilience, willpower, curiosity. So the question isn't, who's controlling us? It's, why are we so willing to be controlled, as long as it feels comfortable? Because soft tyranny doesn't feel like a threat. Soft tyranny feels like a warm bath. But stay in too long, and you forget how to stand. Part 4. The death of focus, when your mind can't breathe. Imagine trying to read a book, but every few minutes, someone taps your shoulder, whispers in your ear, or flashes a bright light in your face. That's what your brain experiences every day in the modern world. According to computer science professor Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, we are facing a quiet crisis, the erosion of our ability to focus. Why? Because the same dopamine loops we explored earlier, the ones engineered by apps and platforms, aren't just stealing our time. They're rewiring our brains. Each time you check your phone mid-task, each time you just peek at Instagram, each time you open another tab while working, you're training your mind to function at surface level. We become used to flitting from stimulus to stimulus, never staying in one place long enough to go deep. Newport warns, if you don't cultivate deep focus, you risk becoming a passive consumer in a world designed to distract you. Let's make this real. You sit down to study or write. 5 minutes in, a notification pings. You check it, you return. But the flow is gone. Now your brain needs to ramp back up. And each time it restarts, it loses efficiency. This is called attention residue. Mental friction left behind when you switch tasks too often. And the more you multitask, the more you normalize shallow thinking. Here's the metaphor. Your brain is like a browser, with 37 tabs open, and none of them have finished loading. That's not intelligence. That's mental fragmentation. And it comes at a cost. You lose the ability to stay with a hard idea, to build real skill, to follow a single thought all the way to clarity. And without focus, mastery becomes impossible. In a world of noise, silence is a superpower. And in a world of fractured attention, focus is rebellion. So ask yourself, how often do you truly think? Without reaching for a screen? Because if you can't hear your own thoughts anymore, who's really in charge of your mind? Part 5, From Pleasure to Purpose, the beginning of a real life. If dopamine is what keeps us chasing, purpose is what makes us finally arrive. And it's not just a nice idea, it's a lifeline. Psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl believed that the core of human existence wasn't pleasure, comfort, or even happiness. It was meaning. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl identified 3 deep sources of purpose: creating something of value, experiencing love and deep connection, finding growth through suffering. He didn't say avoid pain. He said, transform it. He didn't say chase happiness. He said, anchor yourself in purpose, and joy will follow. Happiness, Frankl wrote, cannot be pursued. It must ensue. Let's compare 2 lives. The first is lived, chasing dopamine, scrolling, consuming, reacting, always searching for the next spike of satisfaction. It's fast, easy, and hollow. The second is lived pursuing values, building something meaningful, showing up in relationships with presence, embracing discomfort as the price of growth. One life is driven by impulse, the other by intention. One drains you, the other shapes you. Here's the deeper truth. Purpose is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's not something extra you find when life calms down. It's what gives your struggles weight, your pain, context, your life, coherence. Without purpose, every obstacle feels like a punishment. With purpose, that same obstacle becomes part of your path. This is where the shift begins. From what feels good now to what matters most over time. And in that shift, you move from being controlled by your cravings to being guided by your conscience, from reacting to life to designing it. So let's be clear. Purpose isn't a preference. It's a rescue. It pulls you out of the loop. It returns your energy. It gives you something pleasure never could, a reason to keep going, even when it's hard. And in the next part, we'll explore the one tool that turns purpose into action, the habit that builds freedom from the inside out: discipline. Part 6. Discipline equals freedom. So if purpose is the compass, then discipline is the path beneath your feet. Because knowing what matters means nothing if you don't have the strength to choose it, again and again, especially when it's hard. Former Navy SEAL and author Jocko said it best: discipline equals freedom. It sounds like a paradox, but it's not. Discipline isn't restriction. It's reclamation. It's how you take your life back. From the things that pretend to own you, your cravings, your impulses, your comfort zone. Think of it like this. Every time you choose hard over hollow, your mind remembers who it belongs to. You're proving to yourself, I'm not here to be ruled. I'm here to rise. This doesn't require military-level willpower. It starts with tiny revolutions. Small actions repeated with intention. Limit digital noise. Turn off non-essential notifications. One moment of silence buys you back hours of scattered focus. Protect your focus zones. Create one space in your day, 30 minutes, even 15, where your mind belongs only to you. No pings, no tabs, no scroll. Say no to one comfort per day. Skip the instant reward. Delay the sugar. Finish the hard task before you rest. Not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself who's in charge. Because self-discipline isn't about deprivation. It's about devotion to what truly matters. And here's the irony. The more you say no to what drains you, the more space you create to say yes to what fulfills you. So if you've ever felt like life is out of your control, start small. Start today. Because discipline is the tool. That builds the bridge from purpose to progress. And when practiced over time, it becomes something even greater, a kind of inner stillness, a quiet confidence that no algorithm, no craving, no comfort will ever own again. But here's the question. If discipline is this powerful, why do we still resist it so much? The answer lies deeper than habit. It lives in the most seductive force of all: comfort. Let's go there next. Part 7. Breaking the cycle. Hard, but worth it. By now, we've seen how the systems around us, algorithms, platforms, ads, aren't designed to make us stronger. They're designed to make us comfortable. Not because they care about your well-being, but because comfort is profitable. The easier the path, the more likely you are to take it. And the more often you take it, the more deeply the cycle sets in. This is the foundation of the modern dopamine economy. Your distraction is their revenue. Your dependence is their growth. The system thrives not by forcing you, but by seducing you. It whispers, relax, don't think too hard, just scroll a little more. You've earned it. And before you know it, you've traded depth for distraction, freedom for feedback loops. Psychiatrist Carl Jung saw this with eerie clarity. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid confronting their own souls. And that's what comfort ultimately becomes: a shield from reflection, a way to avoid the silence where the deeper questions start to rise. But here's the truth we need to hold. You don't have to give up pleasure to escape the trap. Not every indulgence is slavery. Not every moment of joy is escapism. What matters is this: can you tell the difference between what delights you and what distracts you? Are you using comfort to recharge or to retreat? Are you choosing your pleasures consciously? Or have they chosen you? Because the solution isn't abstinence. It's awareness. You don't have to throw your phone away. You don't need to live in silence or delete every app. But you do need to choose. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow or keeping me numb? Is this making me stronger or more dependent? Is this moment aligned with who I want to become? When you start asking these questions, you reclaim the one thing. No system, no algorithm, no culture can take from you. Your agency. And yes, breaking the cycle is hard. But nothing meaningful comes from comfort alone. The challenge is real, but the reward is greater. A life that isn't outsourced, a mind that isn't sold, a soul finally home. And that brings us to the final truth, the one insight that ties everything together. Let's go there now. Pleasure isn't the problem, but if you're not aware, you'll be controlled. Aldous Huxley warned us, the perfect dictatorship would be one where the people love their servitude, not because they're forced, but because they're so comfortable they stop noticing the cage. Friedrich Nietzsche put it another way. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. When you know your why, you stop chasing every shiny how. You stop being pulled by every dopamine spike, every empty pleasure. You start moving with intention. So ask yourself, are you living to consume or living to contribute? Are you constantly reacting to the world, or are you finally leading your own life? Pleasure in itself isn't the enemy, but pleasure without purpose is how systems take your time, your energy, your attention, and give you nothing lasting in return. Freedom doesn't mean cutting off joy. It means choosing joy with meaning. And that's your next step. If this video woke something in you, comment below. I choose purpose over pleasure. Subscribe for more tools to help you reclaim your time, your mind, and your freedom.